It was another ordinary day at the mansion, or so it seemed. Maria, a diligent and humble maid, had been working there for several months. She knew every corner of the sprawling house, every polished surface, every vase, and every delicate ornament. She moved quietly, almost like a shadow, ensuring that the house remained spotless, that nothing was out of place, and that her presence was barely noticeable to the family she served. She didn't work for money alone. She genuinely cared about the family, their comfort, and the rhythm of their daily life, but nothing in her experience could have prepared her for what was about to happen that afternoon. The house was unusually quiet that day. The children were at school, the husband was away on business, and the lady of the house had gone shopping. Maria, wearing her crisp uniform and polished shoes, had been assigned to clean the study, a large room at the far end of the mansion. It was filled with heavy mahogany furniture, tall bookshelves stacked with leather-bound books, and paintings of distant landscapes that gave the room a dignified yet slightly intimidating air. She had cleaned the room countless times, dusting the shelves, polishing the desk, and arranging the papers, but today something drew her attention that she had never noticed before. While tidying up the desk drawers, Maria found a small envelope tucked behind a stack of documents. It wasn't unusual for the boss to leave notes here and there, but this envelope felt different. Its edges were worn, and it seemed almost hidden intentionally. Curiosity sparked in her eyes as she picked it up. She hesitated for a moment, knowing she shouldn't pry, but her fingers trembled slightly as she opened it. Inside was a single photograph, and the moment she saw it, her heart skipped a beat. The photo was of a baby, tiny, delicate, and innocent. The baby had soft curls, big curious eyes, and a little smile that could melt anyone's heart. Maria's first reaction was admiration, thinking perhaps it was a family photo from years ago. But then her gaze sharpened. There was something eerily familiar about the baby. Something about the eyes, the nose, the smile. It reminded her of someone. But who? She felt a cold shiver run down her spine as she realized she had never seen this baby before in person, yet the resemblance was uncanny. Her mind raced as she looked closer. The picture had a date written faintly at the corner, and it was from over 20 years ago. Her hands shook as she set the photo down on the desk and tried to piece together the puzzle. The boss, Mr. Lawrence, had always been secretive about his personal life. He never talked about family, rarely mentioned his past, and always kept his private matters behind closed doors. Maria had respected that privacy, never asking questions, never snooping. But now, holding this tiny image, she felt as if she had stumbled upon a secret meant to remain buried. The room suddenly felt heavier, the air thicker. Maria's mind flashed back to snippets of conversations she had overheard over the months. A nurse visiting the mansion years ago, the mention of an accident, whispers about a lost child, fragments that never made sense until now. Could this be? She couldn't finish the thought. The possibility was too shocking, too unbelievable. Her knees gave way slightly, and she instinctively sank to the floor, clutching the photo as if it might give her answers. As she sat there, trying to calm her racing heart, memories of her own childhood came flooding back. She thought of family ties, of parents she barely knew, of secrets that had shaped lives silently. The connection she felt to the image was almost magnetic, pulling her deeper into the mystery. Maria knew she had to find answers, but fear held her back. What if she was wrong? What if this was none of her business? And yet, she couldn't shake the feeling that her life, and perhaps the life of everyone in this mansion, was about to change. Minutes passed, and Maria's breathing slowed slightly, but her mind remained alert. She scanned the room again, noticing details she had ignored for years: a small lockbox in the corner, a drawer slightly ajar, the faint scent of perfume mixed with old paper. Her curiosity ignited fully now, pushing caution aside. She felt that the photograph was only the beginning, that behind this simple image lay a story full of secrets, twists, and revelations that no one expected. The quiet ticking of the clock on the mantelpiece seemed louder than ever, echoing in the stillness. Maria's gaze shifted toward the window, where sunlight streamed in, casting golden beams across the polished floor. It was a perfect day outside, normal and mundane. contrasting sharply with the storm of emotions and questions brewing inside her. She realized she needed to decide. Either let the envelope and the photograph remain hidden as if she had never seen them, or uncover the truth, no matter how life-changing it might be. Her hands went back to the photograph, tracing the tiny face, trying to memorize every detail. The resemblance to someone real and present in the mansion was undeniable. Maria's heart pounded with anticipation and fear. The realization struck her fully. She might be holding a clue to a truth that would shock everyone, a secret that could alter lives forever, and in that moment Maria made a silent promise to herself. She would not run away. She would not ignore what she had discovered. She had to know the story behind the baby in the photograph, to understand the hidden connections, and to uncover the truth behind the walls of the mansion she had served for. So long, little did Maria know, this single photograph was the key to unraveling a mystery that had been buried for decades, a mystery involving her boss, his family, and a life-changing secret that would soon reveal itself in the most unexpected way. The quiet, orderly mansion, with its polished floors and sparkling chandeliers, was about to witness a revelation that would leave everyone stunned. As she rose from the floor, the photograph clutched tightly in her hand, Maria felt a mixture of dread and determination. She knew that her next steps would set off a chain of events that no one, not even her boss, could have anticipated. The moment was electric, filled with tension, suspense, and the promise of shocking discoveries. Maria took a deep breath and whispered to herself, "I have to find out the truth, whatever it takes." Little did she know, the secrets hidden within that photograph were about to turn her ordinary day into a life-altering story of revelations, emotions, and unimaginable surprises. The clock ticked on, each second bringing her closer to uncovering a truth that would shake the foundations of the mansion, its inhabitants, and the life Maria thought she knew. And so the first step in this astonishing journey had begun. Maria sat on the floor of the study, still clutching the photograph tightly. Her mind raced with questions, suspicions, and a growing sense of urgency. The quiet ticking of the clock had become unbearable, marking each second of her growing anxiety. She had to know who the baby was, and more importantly, why it was hidden away in her boss's private study. The idea that this photo could belong to someone connected to the family, or perhaps even to her boss in a way she hadn't imagined, filled her with a strange mixture of fear and anticipation. She carefully placed the photograph back on the desk, trying not to disturb the other papers, and slowly got to her feet. The room seemed different now, as if every object, every shadow, and every detail held a secret waiting to be uncovered. Maria's eyes fell on a small wooden box tucked beneath the edge of the desk, something she had never noticed before. Its edges were slightly worn, and a faint scratch across the lid suggested it had been opened many times over the years. Her curiosity burned hotter now. This box could hold answers, or at least clues. As she reached down to lift it, Maria paused. Her instincts told her to be careful. If her boss returned unexpectedly, finding her meddling could be dangerous. Yet, she couldn't resist. Slowly, she opened the box, revealing its contents. Inside were more photographs, documents, and a small folded letter. Each item seemed to whisper secrets from the past, stories that had been carefully hidden and protected. She took the first photograph out, holding it close. Her heart nearly stopped. It was the same baby from the envelope, but this time in the arms of a man she recognized immediately, her boss, Mr. Lawrence. Maria's breath caught in her throat. She had known Mr. Lawrence for months, but never had she imagined he had such a deeply personal secret. This revelation shook her to the core. The documents underneath the photographs contained dates, hospital records, and letters from someone claiming to be the child's mother. The realization hit Maria like a wave. This was no ordinary family secret. Her boss had hidden something monumental, something that could change lives, and perhaps even expose truths that were never meant to be revealed. She carefully unfolded the letter. The handwriting was elegant, delicate, and unfamiliar, yet the words were clear. The letter spoke of a child who had been lost, believed to be gone forever, and of a promise made to protect the child no matter the cost. Maria's hands trembled as she read, her mind struggling to absorb the gravity of what she was discovering. The baby in the photograph was not just a forgotten memory, it was a mystery wrapped in love, guilt, and secrecy. Maria realized that the implications of what she had found went far beyond a simple photograph. The child's real identity, the story of how he or she came to be connected to Mr. Lawrence. And the reason these items were hidden in the study were all part of a puzzle that only she now held the first pieces of. Her chest tightened, and she felt a mix of fear, excitement, and responsibility. She couldn't simply ignore what she had uncovered. Deciding to take the photographs and letter with her, Maria carefully tucked them into her apron pocket. She needed time to think, to process everything she had found, and to plan her next steps. She moved out of the study quietly, closing the door behind her with the softest click. Each hallway she walked down felt different now. Every shadow seemed to watch her, and the familiar rooms of the mansion appeared transformed, as if they too were hiding secrets she had yet to discover. In the kitchen, Maria tried to calm her racing thoughts. She poured herself a glass of water, hands still trembling, and leaned against the counter. What was she supposed to do next? She couldn't confront Mr. Lawrence directly, at least not without proof, and certainly not without a plan, but she couldn't ignore the truth either. Whoever the baby was, this secret had been hidden for decades, and now it had come into her hands. Maria's mind flashed back to the moments she had observed Mr. Lawrence over the months. The late nights in the study, the phone calls he never wanted her to hear, the brief flashes of emotion when he thought no one was watching. All of it suddenly made sense. He wasn't just a wealthy and stern boss. He was a man carrying a secret that had shaped his life, a secret that perhaps even he had not fully confronted until now. That evening, Maria returned to her small quarters, still clutching the photographs and letter. She laid them carefully on her modest table and began to examine them again. Each photo revealed more: a birthday party, a tiny hand holding a rattle, a first step caught on film, and in each image she noticed subtle features of Mr. Lawrence, traits she had seen in him over the years but had never consciously connected to a child. Her heart raced with every discovery, the puzzle pieces slowly beginning to form a picture she couldn't have imagined. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock at her door. Maria froze. It was late, and she hadn't expected anyone to come. Her pulse quickened. "Who is it?" she called softly. There was no answer. A second knock followed, firmer this time, and a familiar voice whispered, "Maria, are you there?" Her boss? Her stomach churned. She couldn't let him see what she had found. Thinking quickly, she hid the photographs under her pillow and opened the door just slightly. It was only the housekeeper checking in, unaware of the storm of secrets that had just been uncovered. Maria forced a calm smile and nodded, letting her enter. Once the door closed behind the housekeeper, Maria exhaled deeply. She had to stay composed, had to act as if nothing had changed, yet her mind was buzzing with possibilities. The discovery in the study was only the beginning. Throughout the night, Maria couldn't sleep. She kept replaying the photographs in her mind, analyzing every detail, connecting faces, dates, and places. She realized that this secret, once revealed, could upend the entire household, and perhaps even the life of the child if he or she were still somewhere out in the world. Her sense of duty, compassion, and curiosity collided in a whirlwind of emotions. By the next morning, Maria had made a decision. She couldn't face this alone. She needed guidance, someone she could trust, someone who could help her navigate the delicate situation without causing harm or panic. But she also knew that the first step would require confronting the truth directly, or at least uncovering more evidence to understand what had really happened. She had stumbled upon a story of lost connections, hidden truths, and the kind of secrets that could change lives forever. Maria looked at the sunrise filtering through her window, casting warm light over her simple room. She clutched the photographs. Once more, determination replacing the fear that had dominated her mind the night before. Today, she thought, would be the day she took the first steps toward revealing the truth. Whatever the consequences, she couldn't turn back now. The story was bigger than her, bigger than the mansion, and bigger than Mr. Lawrence, and somehow she knew the life of a child hung delicately in the balance, with resolve and courage. Maria prepared herself for the day ahead, knowing that each action she took would set into motion events that no one could predict. The quiet maid who had always followed orders and kept secrets for others was now at the center of a mystery that would shake the foundation of the household, and as she stepped into the day, the photograph safely hidden in her apron, Maria understood that nothing would ever be the same again. The morning sunlight streamed through the mansion's tall windows, but Maria hardly noticed. Her mind was consumed with thoughts of the photographs and the letter she had discovered the night before. The more she examined them, the more she realized that the story they held was not just about a hidden memory, it was about a life intertwined with secrets, promises, and perhaps even betrayal. Every detail of the baby's features, the handwriting on the letter, and the dates on the hospital record seemed to pull her deeper into a web she wasn't sure she wanted to enter, yet couldn't resist. As she carried out her morning chores, Maria's thoughts kept returning to the baby. Who was this child, really? Why had Mr. Lawrence hidden these precious items away in his private study? And most importantly, where was the child now? The questions seemed endless, and each one carried a weight that pressed down on her chest. Even as she dusted the living room, arranged the silverware, and tidied the library shelves, her mind was elsewhere, replaying the images of the tiny baby and the man holding the child. Her determination grew stronger with every passing moment. Maria knew she had to uncover the truth, not just for herself, but for the child and perhaps for Mr. Lawrence, too. She realized that this secret had likely shaped his life in ways she couldn't yet understand. His stern demeanor, his solitary habits, and his guarded interactions with others, all of it might have been influenced by the absence of someone he loved, or by the burden of hiding the truth. By mid-morning, Maria had formulated a plan. She needed more evidence before approaching anyone, even Mr. Lawrence himself. She decided to revisit the study under the guise of cleaning, hoping to find something she might have missed. The mansion was quiet, most of the staff occupied with their own tasks, and Maria moved silently down the long corridor toward the study. Each step felt heavier than the last, the air thick with anticipation. Once inside, she carefully searched every corner, every drawer, and every shelf. Her hands shook as she opened a small leather-bound journal tucked behind some old ledgers. The pages were filled with meticulous notes, dates, and observations, everything from personal reflections to business matters. But her heart raced as she came across a section labeled with a child's name she didn't recognize at first. As she read, the pieces began to fall into place. The notes detailed visits to hospitals, the child's milestones, and letters received. From someone claiming to be the mother, Maria's eyes widened. This was no ordinary record. This was a private history, meticulously maintained, documenting the growth of a child that the world had never known about. Her curiosity now fully ignited. Maria searched further and found another folder marked Confidential. Inside were photographs that spanned several years, each one depicting the child growing up, often in the arms of a man she now recognized as Mr. Lawrence. It became increasingly clear that this was his child, someone he had kept hidden from the public eye for reasons she could only guess at. But then she noticed something that made her gasp, a photograph of a young woman holding the child and smiling warmly. Could this be the mother? And if so, why was the child now absent? As Maria tried to process everything she became aware of a soft sound behind her, she froze. Footsteps? Or perhaps the rustle of someone moving through the hallway? Her pulse quickened, and she instinctively hid the photographs and documents beneath the journal. Slowly, she turned to see a familiar figure entering the study, Mr. Lawrence himself. His expression was unreadable, a mixture of surprise, curiosity, and a hint of suspicion. Maria forced herself to maintain her composure, bowing slightly in. Good morning, sir," she said softly. "Maria," he said, his voice calm but edged with tension. "I didn't expect anyone here right now." He glanced around the room, his eyes lingering on the desk. "Is everything in order?" "Yes, sir," Maria replied, keeping her voice steady. "I was just tidying up." She prayed he wouldn't notice the box, the journal, or the documents she had discovered. For a moment he said nothing, simply observing her. Then, unexpectedly, he nodded. "Very well. Keep things organized, please." With that, he left the study, closing the door gently behind him. Maria exhaled, her knees nearly giving out from relief. She had narrowly avoided being caught, but the narrow escape only fueled her determination. Maria realized that she was now in possession of something incredibly powerful, information that could change everything about the household and the people in it. She needed to act carefully, plan her moves, and perhaps even seek outside help. Yet the questions gnawed at her relentlessly. How would Mr. Lawrence react if he discovered she had seen his secrets? Who else knew about this child? And, where was the child now? Later that day, Maria confided in her closest friend among the staff, someone she trusted completely. She revealed portions of what she had found, enough to share the gravity of the situation without giving away every detail. Her friend listened, eyes wide with shock, and then offered cautious advice. "You must be very careful, Maria. Secrets like this can ruin lives if revealed recklessly. But you also need to find out the truth. There may be someone out there, someone who needs to know about the child." Encouraged by the support, Maria began planning her next steps. She needed to uncover the child's whereabouts, confirm the identity of the mother, and understand the full story behind Mr. Lawrence's hidden past. Every action had to be precise. One wrong move could expose her to danger or cause harm to the child she had come to care about, even without knowing them. Personally, as the day drew to a close, Maria returned to her quarters, laying out all the documents and photographs she had gathered. She studied each one carefully, noting names, dates, and places. Slowly, the story began to take shape in her mind, a story of love, loss, secrecy, and sacrifice. Her role in this story, she realized, was becoming increasingly important. She was no longer just a maid performing daily chores. She had become a guardian of secrets, a seeker of truth, and perhaps even a protector of the child's future. By nightfall, Maria had made a decision. She would continue to gather evidence, quietly investigate, and only reveal the full truth when she was certain it was safe and necessary. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on her, but she felt a sense of purpose she had never known before. This was bigger than her, bigger than the mansion, and bigger than Mr. Lawrence. And somehow she knew that the life of a child, hidden away for years, depended on her actions. As she lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, Maria whispered to herself, "I will find the truth. I will protect them. And I will make sure that the secrets hidden in this house see the light of day." Her resolve was firm, her courage unwavering. Whatever the next day brought, she was ready to face it, armed with knowledge, determination, and the unwavering belief that justice and truth must prevail. The following morning, Maria woke up with a renewed determination. She knew that today she had to act carefully and decisively. The documents, photographs, and letters she had found held the key to a secret that had remained buried for years. Every fiber of her being was focused on uncovering the truth about the baby and understanding why Mr. Lawrence had hidden such a crucial part of his life. She dressed quickly and prepared herself mentally for what lay ahead. After breakfast, Maria decided to take a calculated risk. She waited until Mr. Lawrence left for his appointments, knowing that the study would be empty for a few hours. This was her opportunity to dig deeper, to explore every corner of the room, and uncover any hidden evidence that could shed light on the child's identity and current whereabouts. Her hands trembled slightly as she opened the study door, but her determination outweighed her fear. Maria carefully pulled out the journal she had previously discovered. She turned to the pages that chronicled the child's earliest years, reading each entry with growing clarity. The handwriting was precise, almost obsessive in its attention to detail. She realized that Mr. Lawrence had been documenting every moment of the child's life meticulously. Doctor visits, milestones, birthdays, letters from someone claiming to be the mother. The picture of a father who had loved his child but had been forced to keep the truth hidden began to emerge before her eyes. Her gaze then fell upon a small box she had noticed but not opened the day before. With a deep breath, Maria lifted the lid. Inside were keepsakes, a tiny bracelet, a baby blanket, and a set of medical records. She examined each item carefully, piecing together the puzzle. The bracelet had an inscription, a name that matched the one mentioned in the journal. The medical records confirmed the child's date of birth and listed Mr. Lawrence as the father. Maria's heart raced as she realized the magnitude of what she had uncovered. Suddenly, she heard footsteps approaching from the corridor. Panicking, Maria quickly closed the box and slipped it back into its hiding place. Mr. Lawrence entered the study, his expression unreadable. "Maria," he said calmly, "I hope you're being careful. Some things are better left undiscovered until the right moment." Maria swallowed hard but maintained her composure. "Yes, sir. I was just organizing things," she replied. The calmness in her voice masked the whirlwind of thoughts in her mind. She realized that confronting Mr. Lawrence directly at this point could be risky. She needed more information before making any moves. As the day progressed, Maria carefully observed Mr. Lawrence, noting his routines and behaviors. She began to understand that his secrecy was not born of malice, but of protection, perhaps from the media, from the child's mother, or even from powerful people who could have interfered in his life. Her empathy for him grew, but so did her determination to find the child and ensure their safety and happiness. Later that afternoon, Maria received an unexpected visitor, the child's mother. She had tracked down Maria after hearing rumors of someone discovering the hidden documents. The mother's expression was a mixture of relief and apprehension. "I've been looking for the truth for years," she said softly, tears welling in her eyes. "I need to know that my child is safe." Maria took her hand gently. "I have information," she said. "We need to handle this carefully, but I can help you reconnect." The mother nodded, a spark of hope igniting in her gaze. Together they devised a plan to approach Mr. Lawrence at the right time, ensuring that the truth could be revealed without causing harm or chaos. That evening, as the mansion quieted down and the staff went about their usual routines, Maria prepared for the confrontation. She rehearsed her words, considered every possible reaction from Mr. Lawrence, and steeled herself for the emotional intensity of the moment. She knew that revealing the child's identity would change everything: the family dynamics, the household atmosphere, and perhaps even the life of the child. When the moment arrived, Maria approached Mr. Lawrence with calm determination. She presented the evidence, carefully explaining what she had discovered, and why it was crucial to reunite the child with both parents. Mr. Lawrence's eyes widened as he reviewed the documents, photographs, and letters. The realization of what had been hidden for so many years overwhelmed him. For the first time, he allowed himself to show vulnerability, the weight of decades of secrecy pressing down on him. Tears streamed down his face as he spoke. "I wanted to protect them, to protect everyone involved. I never imagined that the truth could hurt so deeply, yet be so necessary." He paused, taking a deep breath, then continued. "Maria, you've done something extraordinary. You've given us the chance to reclaim what was lost." With careful coordination, the mother was introduced to the child under Mr. Lawrence's supervision. The reunion was filled with emotion hugs, tears, and whispered words of love and apology. The child, confused at first, gradually recognized the warmth and safety offered by both parents. Maria watched silently, her heart swelling with relief and joy. She had played a crucial role in reuniting a family torn apart by time, secrecy, and circumstance. In the following days, the household adjusted to the new reality. Mr. Lawrence openly acknowledged the child as his own, and the mother took an active role in nurturing and guiding the child's development. Maria continued her work, but now with a sense of purpose that went beyond her daily duties. She had helped restore a family, uncovered a truth that had remained hidden for years, and witnessed the transformative power of love and courage. The mansion, once filled with secrets and tension, now echoed with laughter and warmth. The child thrived in the care of both parents, and Maria felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing she had made a difference. The experience had changed her, teaching her the value of curiosity, courage, and empathy. She realized that, even in the most ordinary lives, Extraordinary stories could unfold stories of hope, reconciliation, and the enduring power of human connection. As the sun set over the mansion, casting golden hues across the gardens and halls, Maria stood by the window, reflecting on the journey she had undertaken. She smiled softly, knowing that her actions had bridged the gap between the past and the present, restored a family's happiness, and brought light to a secret long buried in darkness. In that moment, she understood that sometimes the smallest acts of courage could change lives forever, and that truth, once uncovered, had the power to heal even the deepest wounds. The story of the baby, the hidden photographs, and the letters was no longer a secret. It had become a testament to the resilience of love, the importance of honesty, and the extraordinary impact one person could have when they chose to act with compassion, courage, and integrity. Maria had not only discovered a secret, she had helped rewrite a family's destiny, proving that even in the face of hidden truths and long-held secrets, hope and reconciliation could prevail.